Hello everyone and welcome to this Microsoft Flight Simulator tutorial. Today we're going to have a look at our navigation. How do we actually plan a couple of flights? How do we add multiple routes? And can we use external processes in order to get our flight plans loaded in? So to start off, we'll go in and have a look at our world map. And on this screen, you have a number of ways you can edit the views of this screen. So you can go down to Open Filters. And in here, it can change anywhere from the type of map you wish, if you want to be looking at clouds or indeed rain. And you can also have wind here as well, which is really handy. It gives you a good indication of what weather to expect, where you're going to be flying. You can turn on or off where your friends are located, and you can see where your buddies are flying. You can select what airports you want to see, points of interest, and any of your nav aids. So it's a really handy feature to have that filter there. So first up, we're going to select a kind of a VFOR flight, whereby we just want to take off and land from the same airport. But for example, if we want to visit multiple areas throughout. So to start, we're going to pick a random airport. We'll set this as a departure, and we'll also set it as our arrival. So as you can see, we're going to take off and land at Shoreham. That's our current flight path. If we now want to start adding in some POIs or even a custom area, you can click on the map or indeed click on a POI. So we're going to add in the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben, and let's add in Southampton as well. You'll then see that your flight plan is going to take off from Shoreham. You're going to visit Southampton over here, then ramble up to Big Ben, and then ramble back down to Shoreham. You'll also notice that it gives you the total distance in which you're going to be flying, and it's going to show you the time in which it should take based on the aircraft you have selected. So in this case, this flight plan is 142 nautical miles, and it should take approximately 1 hour and 8 minutes. Moving on, if we want to change, we can just simply reset, and say for example now we want to go from say Shoreham, set as departure, and we want to fly up to, let's say, Gloucestershire, and we'll add this as our arrival. Beneath your aircraft, you can select the type of flight you want to fly. So this is saying VFOR, and it's by direct GPS. If, however, you want to fly by VFOR to VFOR station, you can click this in, and the sim will now load in different VFORs in which you can add. They're basically just waypoints you can use on your way over to Gloucestershire. If you want to go to IFR conditions, you can go low altitude airways, in which it'll use the nav data provided by NavBlue, and it'll show where you're taking off from, all the waypoints you need to intercept until you get up to your final airport. You'll notice that the time will start changing and the distance depending on the waypoints. Your whole flight plan will appear on that screen, and you'll get an idea then of what you're going to be doing. If you're going for larger aircraft, be it mainly the jets, you can pick high altitude airways, and it'll use the high altitude waypoints, and again that will either add or take away your transit time or increase or decrease the overall mileage. And finally, we're going to look at using SimBrief. This is a third-party application. You can see from the address in the address bar above. SimBrief is another flight planning tool. So, for example, if we want to say we want to depart from, for example, Dublin, and we're going to fly over to Exeter. The airframe, you select your aircraft and which you're going to do. So for this, we're going to say we're in the Cessna 172. You can edit the airline details, the dates, the departure times. You can also edit all your aircraft details, and it's going to give you the air arc provided you have your subscription running, and it's now going to show you this flight plan. So this is an IFR flight taking off from Dublin, and it's going to head down to Exeter. It's also going to load in an alternative airport as well, which is something that is important when it comes to doing a flight plan. When you're happy with this, you can download the flight plan, so you can save the flight, you can generate an official flight plan. Usually takes a couple of seconds, and once everything is loaded in, you'll be then able to open the flight plan as a PDF document, or you can download the FMS. Once you hit download the FMS, it'll give you an option, basically what platform you're going to use. FS 2020 is already up and running on SimBrief, so when you hit download, you can save it if you have a folder somewhere called flight plans. Then when you're back in your simulator and you're on the world map screen, you can go down to load and save. We'll press load and save. It's basically saying that you can load in a flight plan. Find the location in which you've downloaded from SimBrief, select it, click open, and after a couple of seconds it'll load in your flight plan. This is really handy if you want to follow some of the real world routes, or routes depending on your persuasion. So yeah, I find this really helpful. It's very easy to set up, and once you start your flight, this entire flight plan, or any flight plan for that matter, will automatically be downloaded into your FMS or into your GPS, so you can go start flying and checking it out on the flight plan. So guys, I hope this video was somewhat helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments or opinions, please leave them in the section below, and we'll see you on our next flight.